Now let's watch some older videos and look at old pictures of when Emily had just moved in with us. And I'll tell you about her. She's truly an amazing cat. Emily was probably born somewhere in the autumn of 2008. She was feral, living outside. I started grade 9 in August of 2008. However, it wasn't your average grade 9. I was in a class for severely autistic kids. They used a lot of a method called applied behavior analysis. I don't know much of the new applied behavior analysis. My mum said it has changed. Well, I've never experienced the new forms, so I can't really comment on it. But, in my days, what I've experienced was really awful. It's one of the worst thing I've ever been through. So, my mum asked the vet if I could volunteer at her clinic. The vet said yes. Then my mum told her a bit about how school wasn't going well. And this vet said, yes, and she's gonna have a lot more fun here. So, I started volunteering, and on my second day, I met Emily. I was asked by the tech to socialize her. Since she was feral, she didn't want humans near her. She was scared and very shy. Eventually, I adopted her, and I was allowed to pick her birthday. Since we don't really know when she was born, but it would have been somewhere in the fall of 2008, I picked October the 5th as her birthday, without knowing that it was also my cousin's birthday. So, if we count from 2008 to 2026, Emily would have been 17 years old when she passed away. Throughout my childhood, my parents always had cats. Every time that the cats had to go to the vet, I would come and look at what was being done. My last years of primary school, a new veterinary clinic was being built. My mum seemed a bit interested, but we didn't switch vets just yet. But, when I was in grade 9, my mum decided to try the new vet. She had asked me to come and see, while she went to book an appointment, but I refused and stayed in the van. After booking her appointment, she came back and tried to convince me to come in and see that there's 5 cats there, but I refused. These 5 cats were clinic cats, living there. Finally, the day of the appointment arrived. It was for cats called Minu and Maker. My mum asked me if I wanted to come, that she was going to the new vet, and I said no. But my mum kind of made me come, so I came, but wasn't happy about it. I just sat there during the appointment and was kind of ignoring. But then my mum asked the vet, "Are you the owner?" And she said yes. Then mum asked, "Do you accept volunteers?" And she said yes. Then my mum said, "Do you accept volunteers for June who's autistic?" I was right there and the vet saw me and said, yes. Then they talked for a while and my mum told her a bit about school not going well. The vet said, yes, and she's gonna have a lot more fun here. That vet thought I'd have more fun there than at school. What I didn't know is that this vet has a sister with Down syndrome. So she is used to special needs and differences. I started volunteering at the vet the next week. I would go on Tuesdays, instead of going to school. My second day of volunteering, so the Tuesday after my first Tuesday, is the day that I met Emily. The tech said, "We have a little cat that needs to be socialized." So, to sit with her, play with her, pet her, and it's to try to get her to not be scared of humans. The tech brought me over to the cat room, and there I saw shy little Emily for the first time. I sat with her, I pet her, I had little toys to try to get her attention and get her to play. Emily responded well to me, but she wouldn't let any of the other staff members near her. So, now I had been to the vet a few times, it was going well, and school was still awful, so I stopped going to school. I would go to the vet almost every day of the week, all day, so I even had lunch there, which was always oatmeal and milk. I decided that's what I would eat. And there's a nice teacher that I used to be in her class in primary school, who would come see me at the vet for 1 hour, after she had done school for the day. So she would come see me at the vet around maybe 4 p.m. During the day at the vet, before this teacher comes, I would do lots of things. I was in the surgery room looking at surgeries being done. Or I would come in appointments with the vet and observe. Sometimes I would listen to the heartbeats of animals before appointments, with the tech of course. They showed me how to count the heartbeats. I would be shown things in the microscope. I would clean the cages, prepare cages for new pets, clean counters in exam rooms in between appointments, feed cats, change water, mop floors or vacuum. Sometimes do laundry or dishes, which they showed me how. So I learned life skills at the vet too. And they also showed me how to do the surgery packs. That's when we take clean surgical instruments, put them on special blue paper, with a surgery drape, a paper towel, a hand towel, and we fold it, and put it in the autoclave to sterilize it. And then when it's done, I could go put them away in the surgery room. Also one of the tech did spellings with me, in between her appointments and work, and the vet manager did math with me. The staff became my teachers, best friends, and family. Also, the vet manager went to a school meeting with my mom, to help my mom to fight off the school board for my needs. This vet and her staff were amazing. Don't know what me and my mom would have done without them. Of course the staff members had to show me precisely how to do things, but once I got it, I got it. At times I would get confused and didn't know how to ask for help, or I'd get nervous, or had bad days. But the staff members learned my unusual language, which can include freezing in place in front of a closet if there's no more soap for example, and they would be able to know what was wrong and help me out. In working with someone with my form of autism, at the vet it can work, if the staff members are willing and able to adapt, and to be very observant, and if they can learn how to work with me, which at this clinic they really did. Observation is the key. Like with animals. Animals have a different language and body posture to communicate, but vets and techs know how pets feel. I'm like that due to my autism, maybe that's why vet staff are often better than anyone else to work with me, adapt, connect and interact with me. Vet staff are amazing with me. Not just at that vet, but at other vets too. These people are amazing with me. Still to this day, vet staff are some of my favorite people in the whole world. They hold a huge place in my heart. Eventually I went to a new school, but I would go see Emily at the vet almost every day after school. She still wanted nothing to do with the rest of the staff members, but would let me spend time with her. I would go sit in the cat room, and she would be hiding between the wall and cages. But when I sat down on the floor and tried to get her attention, she would come out to see me. Eventually, we were gonna move and my mom said that when we move I could get a new cat. So I said Emely. My mom told me to ask the vet and she agreed. We ended up not moving, but we brought Emely home anyways. It was the best thing we ever did. She was my favorite cat, my greatest companion. I treated her differently than my mom's cats or the family cats. I gave Emely more attention and cared for her more. She was my first cat that was really my cat, and not a shared family cat, because she was feral and wanted nothing to do with everyone else, which I loved. She was mine. I loved that she wasn't social with anyone else than me. I loved that I didn't need to share her. Emely was very spoiled, and she usually got what she wanted. She was like a little Nellie Olson, in Little House on the Prairie, always getting her way. And she knew that she could get her way. At one point my mom asked me if I wanted to change her name to Nellie, since she was so much like Nellie Olson, and that's due to me because I just let that cat rule, and get her way. But we didn't change her name. When Emely was 4 years old, a company came to put new carpet in the living room. Well, Emely being feral got scared of strangers in the house, and she ran outside to hide and didn't come back. It was the worst 2 months of my life. I prayed so hard to find her. I did rosaries and chaplets of divine mercy, and novenas for her. A novena is when you pray for 9 days. So I prayed the novena to the divine child Jesus for 9 days, and then started over, and then after 9 days, start over and so on. I was praying and crying non-stop. My little queen was gone and it happened in the winter. I was scared she would freeze to death. And she was only 4 years old, too young to die. I was so worried. I contacted the shelter, just to let them know that I had a missing cat, and they said to go put posters around town, so I did. But this shelter was about 2 hours away from our home. So the chances of them finding her were very slim. My mom thinks that when Emely went outside to hide, that she may have jumped into the truck of the guys installing carpet, and that she may have ended up being brought to the city or at the store accidentally. So, my stepdad called the store, but they had not seen a cat. Emely got lost on December the 8th, and it's only at the end of January that we finally found her. But it wasn't us who found her, we got a phone call. After 2 months of praying non-stop, novena after novena to the divine child Jesus, this faraway animal shelter, that I had somehow felt the urge to contact previously, called us. The shelter called us. Emely was there. I was at home alone and of course I couldn't just answer the phone. There's no way for me to be able to speak to them on the phone, so I let the answering machine pick up and I listened to their message and was in awe, and couldn't wait for my mom to come back. I thanked Jesus too. When my mom came back, she heard the message and we immediately left to go get her, but we had to drive 2 hours away at night and they were almost closing. We got there just in time. They took us in. In the room with all the cat cages, Emely was there. And the random newspaper in her cage had a picture of the divine child Jesus on it. So, I knew Jesus had found her. But the shelter didn't let us just bring Emely back home just like that. They wanted us to adopt her out, which was expensive, but we can't just leave her there. What would she think? So, we adopted her out. They checked her microchip, I had brought her file, and the numbers were all matching. It was really Emely. Then later when my vet found out that they made us adopt her out, she wasn't too pleased, and said that they should have just given her back to us. I remember the first time that Emily came home with me, after adopting her for free, from the vet. That night, I went to bed and it was Emily's first night with me. She came under my blanket and cuddled with me. You know how hospital smells like hospital? Well, the vet clinic has its own version of that, and Emily smelled like the vet. She was in bed with me under my blanket, smelling like the vet clinic. I promised her that night that I would take care of her forever, until the last day. That's why I never stopped praying and searching for her. I had a promise to keep. Well, after being back from the shelter, that first time back at home after 2 months, Emily came under my blanket and cuddled with me, as she had done on her first night at home, after being adopted from the vet. It was the best reunion ever. Emily left again out of fear a few years later, but she was gone only a few hours, and she came back by herself. So I lost her twice. Eventually, I stopped school. I had other problems going on. I moved out of my mom's place with Emily. I was 18, almost 19 years old. But while I was living in my first apartment, I went to a new high school in a good special education class. But I didn't like to leave Emily alone at home all day while I was at school. Poor Emily alone in an apartment. No, I couldn't leave her like that. So, I got Kaylee to keep her company. I went to this school until I was 21 years old, but the cats were not at home alone all this time, because eventually I had to go back to live with my mom. Then I ended school and I went to live with my dad for a while, then back with my mom, then alone in an apartment with my 2 cats again, and right now I'm back with my mom. Grandma and Grandpa went to a sushi restaurant and brought back plain salmon without spices on for the cats. Emily refused to taste it, but Kaylee didn't say no. Throughout her life, Emily has always been a very active cat, who loved going outside. She loved to play. I called her my everlasting kitten. She has always been young at heart. She was feral, so she always had an energetic, active, curious, exploring wild side to her personality, and she was very good at hiding. Even in her senior years, she was very active. But during her last week, however, she didn't go for walks anymore. She went outside only to drink puddle water. Emily has been fighting kidney disease for probably a long time. We found out in September, but some symptoms were present way before. She probably has had kidney disease for a few years, without us knowing that that's what was going on, and in September she was already at stage 3. Last summer that's when she started getting very sick, and she had lost some weight before, but last summer it was obvious she was losing weight, getting sick, puking, couldn't keep anything down, falling, just really struggling. I feel bad for not bringing her to the vet earlier. Emily's last few days were very difficult. She was refusing to drink anything but puddle water. She did a very black poop, which could indicate internal bleeding. Sadly, it was time to put her down. She was too sick. I miss her and I wish she would still be here. It makes me anticipate heaven even more. I can't wait to see her again. I asked Jesus to bring her into my eternal home, the place that He is preparing for me. And one day, when Jesus will finally be ready to come and get me, I hope that He will come with Emily and Kaylee in His arms, and be followed by all of my future cats. The vet that I mentioned in this video, I don't live there anymore. We moved away 7 years ago, but I still text her almost every day. I go to a new vet now, and in September I had been asked to come and help them, because it was noticed that I was so good at handling Emily. But from September to now, I have never been to volunteer at my new vet, because I wanted to stay home with Emily. But now Emily is living in God's hands. So on the day that Emily was put down, I told the tech that I'm ready to come and volunteer. I will get more cats in the future. Hopefully they will be all black and feral like Emily was. My experiences with Emily being feral was the best ever, and I miss it, and definitely want more feral cats in the future. I miss her so much. Black feral cats are now my favorites. Dear Emily, if you see this video from heaven, I miss you so much. I still love you, always will, and I still pray for you, always will. I think Kaylee misses you too, because she has been sleeping on your bed. I can't wait for the day where we will all be reunited again, me, you, Kaylee, Jesus, and all of my future cats. Imagine spending eternity in the gardens of heaven, with no illnesses to ever separate us again. Please Emily, pray for Kaylee to not get kidney disease. You suffered so much, and you were very strong, and persevered each day, but I don't want this to happen to any of my other cats. When my grandpa was dying, he saw an uncle that he loved. When I will be dying, it's you that I hope to see. Please come get me with Jesus, whenever Jesus will be ready for me. Due to my autism and immense difficulties with socialization, I spend more time with cats than people. So, when I think about eternity, I think about spending it with Jesus and cats. Emily, I will always pray for you, pray for me and for Kaylee. See you very soon, because God is outside of time. I'm sorry for not bringing you to the vet sooner. Forgive me. I love you.